I entered the GDEX 2022 Game Jam and won with this little silly pencil game. Well, kind of. I'll explain later, but let's talk about my entry, Eraserhead. The jam was 9 days long, which was perfect for someone like me that has a job and has a hard time committing to game jams that are 48 hours or less. It also happened to fall on the week before my game Toaster Defense came out.
What was that? You don't know what Toaster Defense is?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's only a silly game that mixes tower defense with shoot-'em-up platforming about protecting a really cute toaster that is being attacked by robots. And it's out now on Steam. If you could buy it, please, that'd be fantastic because I need to make money off it so I can keep making games for a living, please. The theme for the jam was Erase. Although I didn't start any work the day of the announcement, I was taking mental reps throughout the day on what I could create in the week given for development. Recently, I've been thinking that it'd be fun to try to make a third-person shooter game, so my mind started gravitating in that direction. I settled on the idea that you would play as a pencil, and you would shoot erasers from your head to erase objects on the map to progress in the level. So kind of like a third-person puzzle platforming kind of a game. The next morning, I started development on that idea. I started out by downloading the Unity Starter Assets third-person controller and followed a great tutorial by CodeMonkey to get a working third-person shooter. Although I should probably focus more on fleshing out the gameplay at this point in the game jam, truth be told, I'm an artiste, and I wanted to start working on the visuals, beginning with the design of the main character. I created a quick sketch of a pencil with arms and legs, with the eraser as the head, hence the name of the game, Eraserhead, and the point of the pencil being its, Once the sketch was completed, I moved into Maya to start modeling, texturing, and rigging. I put the character into the game and added animations, and I added perfectly working animations first try. I was really happy with what was starting to take shape my first day into the jam. The next morning, I woke up and started running around the level pretending to shoot things as if I was really playing the game. With anything I work on, whether it's art, game development, or even something like making this video, I like to take a look at it the next day with a fresh pair of eyes to see if I actually enjoyed it. Luckily for me, I did. I didn't need to tweak any more of the coding, and I could move on to the next major gameplay element, shooting objects to erase them, which is kind of, the whole point of the game, so I should really work on it now. To do this, I used a shader that had a dissolve feature and coded the value of that amount to change every time it was hit with a bullet. To add to the puzzle platforming aspect of the game, I wanted to have a button that the player could stand on to erase objects of the same color. I also recycled the pencil model and made them as a pickup item that the player could use to press buttons with or collect a certain amount to open a door. I forgot to record that part during development, so here's what it looks like in the final product. Throughout the week, I chipped away at the level design. I started off by blocking off the levels and running through them until I felt like the flow was passable. I didn't want to spend too long on a single level since I did have a time limit on this. Once I had the majority of the levels blocked out, my artiste itch was, itching again. I jumped back over to Maya to create some modular cliffs as well as other objects. Unfortunately, I really wanted to deck the place out with more vegetation, but, due to, again, time constraints, I just settled on a tree. For the art style, I wanted to create something like a hand-painted texture from the early 2000s. Once I finished those, I plugged in the models, and I thought they looked pretty good. One last thing I needed was an end goal. I decided to make the synopsis of the game. Drew the pencil was going home, and you had to solve puzzles by erasing objects to help get him to his house. For the house model, I again reused the pencil model to cut down time and made it look into a nice little house with windows and stuff, and I put a platform in front of the door, and when the player would step on it, it would end the game. We have now arrived to the day before the game jam was over. I devoted this whole day to polishing to the game, adding particle effects, sound effects, music, screen shake, all the juice that makes the game feel more interesting. After I completed all that, I played the game through, and I was actually really proud of what I was able to create in a little over a week. I thought back to some of the first Game Jam games that I've made, and I gave myself a little pat on the back for how much I've grown as a developer over the years. So I stated that in the beginning of the video, I won the Game Jam, right? The votes may show that, yeah, I won first place, but this Game Jam was a little different. You see, GDEX is an expo here in Ohio, and during the event, the judges would select a winner of the Game Jam who would receive a physical award. I've never won an award in my life for anything, so I thought it'd be awesome, so awesome, to come home with some hardware to put on a shelf. Only thing that I received that night was some humble pie.
Okay.
The judges of the Game Jam selected the game that was in second place for the peer voting as the winner of the awesome trophy. So although I did not win, I want to wish a big congratulations to the official winner of the GDEX 2022 Game Jam.
Although I'm obviously bummed that I fell short of winning something, which for some reason seems to be someone's cruel joke, because it seems to be like the theme of my life. I'm always very close, but not quite. But, I did win the peer vote, so I'll take this as a small moral victory, and I'll take it as a learning experience and continue to grow as a game developer.
If you want to play my silly game about a pencil, a link is in the description to play it. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.